This is Your Yoga Life, the YouTube channel for people who are yoga casual, yoga curious. Maybe you've never done a yoga class before. Maybe you've done many, but you want to try out a new style, or maybe a new focus, or maybe you just have about 30 minutes and you want to get on your mat. This is the channel for you. So today's class is Yin Yoga to lighten up. So the theme is in alignment with the idea of transitioning into spring. So spring in Ayurveda can be associated with the ideas of kapha, which means combining the elements of earth and water, which is really, really great because it's very nourishing, hydrating, but it can also feel like mud, a little sticky, a little boggy, like you can feel bogged down. And so this particular sequence is going to help you feel lighter, a little more energized. It's going to get into the liver and the gallbladder meridians if you're interested in those types of focuses, whatever. So for this pose, for these poses, you don't have to have any props, but I always recommend getting props and using them, especially in yin yoga and restorative yoga, because the body benefits from having that support. Even if it doesn't feel like you need it and you can muscle through, it's still really, really good to be able to release completely, allow yourself to come into the right version of this pose for you, using support to bring you into it. So choose your adventure. As always, remember, you can always express each and every moment of this practice however it feels best to you. And so let's go ahead and get started. All right. So we're going to start in child's pose. I'll show you a couple of different versions here. Maybe it feels nice to use a blanket underneath your shins, underneath your knees. And for this particular pose, you can either bring the knees together or you can take them a little bit wide. Walk the hands forward. Let the forehead come down. Maybe it comes down onto the mat. Maybe you use a block. We'll be here for about a minute. So generally I try to count about 6 to 8 breaths, inhale and exhale. So just allow yourself to start to settle down. Feel your breath. Sending the breath to the back of the rib cage. If you feel like you have to move, you can do that, but don't just move because you're anxious or you're antsy. See if you can allow that energy to flow out of the twitching or the adjusting and move it into your breath. Let's do 3 more full rounds of breath. Good. Gently start to come back up. Use your hands to help lift you up. Now we're going to transition into a seated position. So again, you can stay on this blanket if it feels good. Come to the edge of the blanket so that your hips are starting to fall off the edge. That way your pelvis can be neutral. Take the feet wide, just as wide as it feels comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be super wide. And we're going to fold here. So you can just walk your hands forward, bend your elbows, let your chin come to your chest, mindful of your lower back. So this This bend forward, this fold forward should be happening in the hips and not in the lower back. Our hips are a hinge joint. Our back is not, our vertebrae are not. So if you need support here, one of my favorite ways to do this folded, this wide-legged fold or the straddle pose is to take a bolster sideways, or you can take a stack of pillows, whatever feels nice, and then just drape your torso over it. Another option, if you have a bolster or a rolled up blanket, is to place blocks underneath it to lift it up and fold over it. So finding the version here that works best for you so that you can feel comfortable and supported. We'll be here for at least 2 more minutes. So just breathe. Let's do 3 more full breaths. Good, and gently start to rise back up. Take your time. Removing any props here. Next, we're going to move into lizard pose. So I'm prepping my blocks to put my forearms on here. Use your hands to bend your knees and bring those feet in. Maybe you plant your feet and do a little windshield wiper. Maybe that feels nice. Just to bring a little movement back into the hips. And then slowly making your way into table pose. Once again, you can use this blanket underneath your knees if you need a little extra padding here. Once you've come into this table, go ahead and shift the weight over to the left side and bring that right foot forward to come into lizard. So as we come into lizard, you want to make sure that your knee is over the ankle or a little behind it. You don't want to take this foot back and then be forward of your knee, forward of your feet, so that your heel lifts up. We want to make sure that we've got nice stable base here and that there's not a lot of extra force being placed onto this knee here. Hands are on the inside of the foot. The hips face the front of the mat here. And maybe you keep your hands down, keep the heart reaching forward, the hips are sinking down. You can gently turn that right foot out and let that knee start to open. It doesn't have to go very far. If you like, you can bring your forearms down onto the mat or onto these blocks. We'll stay here for about 2 minutes. So find your breath. Find some stillness. Keeping your focus on the sensations in the body. Awareness of the inhale and the exhale. Let's do 3 more breaths. Gently coming back up, take your time, go slowly. Bring that foot back in, right foot facing forward. Slowly sink the hips back and pull that leg back into table pose. From here, we're going to come into fire log. So flick your feet to one side or the other. I'm going to turn to face you for this. And we're going to bring the left foot on the bottom, aligning the shin with the edge of your mat here. Taking the opposite leg, the right leg, and stacking it on top, aligning that shin also with the edge of the mat. So your shins are stacking on top of each other. Feet are flexed. So you have ankle over knee, knee over ankle. Fire logs, Agni Stambhasana. If you like, you can put support underneath your right thigh. You can also bring support underneath your left knee if you need to come up a little higher. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. If you are one of the people that for which this is a very simple pose, you might consider hinging at the hips, draping your torso over your legs. For the rest of us, we can just sit here and breathe, releasing into the hips. Let's take 3 more breaths. Good. Gently unraveling here. Remove your props to start with. Lean the hands back. Unravel your feet and plant them on the mat. A little windshield wiper of the knees, left and right. And then we'll do the other side. So, coming into our table pose. Can use the blanket to support your knees. The blocks can be in front of you if you have blocks. Shifting the weight into the right side of the body, bringing that left foot forward. Finding this pose first. So finding this low lunge, finding a good version of this that works for you before moving deeper. Making sure the knee is in alignment with your ankle. And then turn that foot out if it feels okay. Let that knee start to open wide. Maybe you keep your hands planted, mat or blocks. Maybe you bring forearms down. Totally up to you. We'll stay here about 2 minutes. Let's do 3 more breaths. Gently, slowly start to come back. Lifting the upper body up, bringing that foot back in alignment. Slowly lifting the hips and sending them back. Then taking that left foot back. And then make your way into a seated position. This time we're going to bring that right leg down first. Bringing it in alignment with the side of the mat, parallel here. Then stack the left leg on top, ankle over knee, knee over ankle, so that the shins stack on top of each other. Apply props if you need to make this more supported, so it's not so intense. You get to choose how intense you want it. Once you have found this pose and made all your adjustments, settle into a stillness. Maybe your shoulders are over your hips. Maybe you start to drape the torso forward, mindful of the lower back. We'll be here for a couple of moments. Take 3 more breaths here. Good. Gently remove any props. Take your hands behind you. Lean into those hands. Unravel your legs. Plant your feet. Do a little windshield wiper of the knees, left and right. And we'll start to move our way into our final pose, Shavasana, the most important pose of yoga. And for this, again, you are welcome to support your body in whatever way feels best for you. For example, it might feel nice to put a blanket underneath your head, put a bolster or a set of blocks or even some pillows underneath your knees. Lay on back. You can even put your legs up on a chair if that feels nice. I like to roll the edge of my blanket underneath my head just to give a little extra support to the neck. These are all great options here. Find what's comfortable for you. Then make your way into some stillness once again. Give yourself this gift, this time of conscious relaxation, where you allow this yin practice to settle into every cell of your body, and then go deeper into the mind and into the heart. Allow each exhale to take you deep into yourself, knowing I will guide you back when the time is right. So enjoy. And as you start to come back, do so slowly, bringing your awareness back into your breath. Take a nice long, deep breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. Continue breathing in this way as you start to welcome movement back into the body. Waking up slowly. Ooh, maybe it feels good to stretch out long. Pull in tight. Slowly making your way back into an upright seated position. Taking your time. You're welcome to sit up on a blanket or a bolster. Let's bring one foot in front of the other or cross your legs. Let the hands rest on the knees or on the legs. Soften the gaze or close the eyes. Take just one more moment here to check in. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice your breath. Notice how you feel. Good. We'll go ahead and close this class by bringing the hands together over the heart. Take a nice long deep breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. From my heart to yours. Peace. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that you watched this video today, that you made it all the way to the end. And so now I'm going to ask you to help me out. You know, this is YouTube. You're probably very familiar with how the algorithm works here and how we as content creators try to beat the algorithm or to help ourselves, help ourselves out, right? You can help me out by liking this video, subscribing to my channel if you aren't already. That way you'll be notified whenever new live streams like this come up or whenever I start posting videos again. And then if you could share this video, let other people know that classes like this exist on YouTube. It's very helpful for me as well. I really do appreciate you. And if you want full-length classes, yin classes, vinyasa classes, restorative classes, whatever floats your boat or is your fancy, then click the link below and you'll go to my online studio where I have live classes every week. I have videos on demand that are premium full-length classes. There's courses and bundles and even seasonal retreats. So check it out, see if there's anything there that you are interested in. And of course, if you ever have questions, you can email me or find me here on this channel. So I'll be back next week. And until then, take really good care of yourself, okay?